Welcome to Design Stand-Up, Episode 3, 10 Small Design Mistakes We Still Make by Eugen Eşanu of UX Planet. And I'm your host, Ryan Stone, reading to you every Tuesday and Thursday from the best blogs in the digital design industry, with their permission, of course. It's kind of like a free ongoing audiobook, always being updated with new content from your favorite designers. Whether you are a seasoned design professional or simply a design enthusiast, I am on a mission to help grow your knowledge in all things digital design. Before we get to today's post, don't forget to check out the brand new Design Stand-Up workspace on Slack, where we chat about the latest episodes, give and receive feedback on each other's most recent work, learn about new design tools, and much more. You can find an invite link in the show notes below, as well as direct channel links to the categories we discuss in today's episode. You can also sign up directly at designstandup.slack.com. So without further ado, let's stand up. 10 Small Design Mistakes We Still Make by Eugen Eşanu of UX Planet. The saying that good design is obvious is pretty old, and I'm sure it took different shapes in the previous centuries. It referred to good food, music, architecture, clothes, philosophy, and everything else. We forget that the human mind changes slowly, and the knowledge you have about human behavior will not go old for at least 50 years or so. To make it easy for you, we need to keep consistent with a couple of principles that will remind us of how to design great products. We should be told at least once a month about these small principles until we live and breathe good design. Revisiting, don't make me think. Steve Krug laid out some useful principles back in 2000 after the dot-com boom, which are still valuable and relevant nowadays. Even after his revised version, nothing changed. Yes, you will tell me that the looks are more modern and the websites are more organized and advanced. But what I mean about that is, nothing has changed in human behavior. We will always want the principle, don't make me think, applied to any type of product we interact with, whether it is a microwave, TV, smartphone, or car. Number 1. We don't read, we scan. The reason for that is, we are on a mission and we only look for the thing that interests us. For example, I rarely remember myself going through all the text on the homepage of a product website. Why? Because most of the web users are trying to get something done and done quickly. We do not have time to read more than necessary, and we still put a lot of text because we think people need to know, or as some designers say, it adds to the experience. Here are a couple of things to keep in mind when working with text. Use plenty of headings. They tell you what each section is about, or if they are relevant to the person. Either way, they help you decide to scan further or leave the website. Keep paragraphs short. Long paragraphs makes it harder for readers to keep their place, and they are harder to scan than a series of short paragraphs. There's always a reasonable place in a paragraph to break it into. Use bulleted lists. Almost anything can be a bullet list. Do you have a sentence that separates many things with a comma? Then it can be a bullet list. Also, don't forget to leave space between bullet list rows for optimal reading. Take medium as an example. Highlight key terms. Much of page scanning process consists of looking for keywords and phrases. Formatting the most important one in bold makes them easier to find. Also, don't highlight too many things because it will lose effectiveness. Number 2. Create effective visual hierarchies. Another important aspect that will help scanning a page is offering a proper visual hierarchy. We have to make it clear that the appearance on a page portrays the relationships between elements, so there are a couple principles for that. A. The more important something is, the more prominent it is. The most important stuff are either larger or bolder in distinctive color set. And B. Things that are related logically are related visually. For example, things are similar by grouping them under the same visual style or under the same heading. Number 3. Don't reinvent the wheel. We believe that people want something new and more, but we forget that there are so many applications on the market that each demands our time. Each of them has different interactions, and we need to learn each one of them. And our mind blows up when, oh man, another app to learn? We as designers, when asked to design something new, have a temptation to try and reinvent the wheel, because doing something like everyone else seems somehow wrong. We have been hired to do something different, not to mention that the industry rarely offers awards and praises for designing something that has the best use of conventions. Before reinventing the wheel, you have to understand the value, time, effort, knowledge that went into what you are trying to disrupt and innovate. Number 4. Product instructions must die. Our job is to make stuff clear and obvious. If obvious is not an option, then at least self-explanatory. The main thing you need to know about instructions is that nobody is going to read them. We should aim for removing the instructions to make everything self-explanatory. But when they are necessary, cut as much as possible. But really, nobody's going to read them. We muddle through. If it is not obvious, then we should aim for self-explanatory. Take IKEA as an example. If you told an average person to assemble a wardrobe from IKEA, I am sure that he will assemble it right most of the time. Why? It is, most of the cases, apparent on how it should be assembled if we have a clear picture in front of us. But even in instances where they look at the instructions, there are no words, only images. Number 5, we do not care how your product works. For most of the people, it is not essential to know or understand how your product works. Not because they are not intelligent, but merely because they do not care. So once they nail down the use of your product, they will rarely switch to something else. Let's take, as an example, the Apple AirPods. We can all admit that they are the worst sounding earbuds for the price you pay, but when I look at how people interact with it, I understand the real reason why they buy it. They do not make you think about why it is not working. You even don't notice they have new technology. I look at how my mom interacts with them, and she never asks me what technology is behind how they work. She knows that whenever you open the case near your device, it is going to connect. It is that easy. Number 6. People don't look for subtle cues. We are in a hurry. This is my favorite one. We, designers, love giving the users subtle effects and add beautiful delights, right? Well, what if I told you that your users don't care about it? No matter how much they tell you they do, they don't. First time? Yes. Second? Okay. Third? Really? How much do I have to see this until it's enough? Why is this happening? Life is a much more stressful and demanding environment than an app's delight and subtle effects. For example, you are a father and your kid is screaming because he wants ice cream. The dog is barking because somebody is calling at the front door, and you are trying to book a quick train ticket that should leave in 40 minutes. In that specific moment, people will not care about your subtle cues. On the other side, though, we should use them, but not when it kills the user flow. Number 7. Focus groups are not usability tests. A focus group is a small group of people that sits around at the table and discuss things. They talk about their opinions about the product, past experiences, their feelings and reactions to new concepts. Focus groups are great for determining what your audience wants. A usability test is about watching one person at a time, trying to use something, your product in this case. In this case, you ask them to perform specific actions to see if you need to fix something in your concepts. So, focus groups is about listening, and usability tests are about watching. Number 8. We allow personal feelings to take over the process. All of us who design digital products have the moment when they say, I'm a user too, so I know what is good or bad. And because of that, we tend to have strong feelings about what we like and don't. We enjoy using products with a blank, or we think that blank is a big pain. And when we work on a team, it tends to be hard to check those feelings at the door. The result is a room full of people with strong personal feelings on what it takes to design a great product. We tend to think that most of the users are like us. Number 9. You ask the wrong questions. It is not productive and will not add any value if you ask questions such as, do people like drop-down menus? The right question to ask is, does this drop-down menu, with these words, in this context, on this page, create a good experience for people who are likely to use the site? We should leave aside, do people like it, and get deeper into the strategic context of design. The reason for that is if we focus on what people like, we will lose focus and energy. Usability testing will erase any likes and show you what needs to be done. And number 10, when a person uses your product, you forget that she shouldn't spend time thinking about, where am I? Where should I begin? Where the heck did they put blank? What are the most important things on this page? Why did they call it that way? Is that an ad or part of the site? The point is that every question that pops into our head when using your product only adds up to the cognitive workload. It distracts our attention from why I am here and what I need to do. And as a rule, people don't enjoy solving puzzles when they merely want to know if that button is clickable or not. Every time you make a user tap on something that does not work, or it looks like a button or a link, but it's not, it also adds up to the pile of questions. And this happens because who built the product did not care too much about the product. You just listened to the post titled 10 Small Design Mistakes We Still Make by Eugen Eşanu of UX Planet. If you want to learn more about Eugen and read some of his other outstanding articles on design, just press the link in the show notes or head over to UX Planet at uxplanet.org. You can also access this full episode along with others at designstandup.com. Well, that's all I have for you today, guys. It's been a pleasure. Until next time, fill up those coffees, turn up those tunes, and let's design a better world.